G'day, family, and welcome to episode 30 of the Captain's Run. Perhaps this brings up 100 episodes for the
Should it?
Crow between the Captain's Run and
How's
the
the
normal
bat?
show. Raise the bat. It'll be good when we get one of them to actually 100 episodes. But how are you, mate? Seems like you're in Sydney.
Yeah, in Sydney, mate. I didn't travel this week. Obviously, had a bit of a setback with injury, and I'm still in Sydney. Might head to the championships, I know. Yeah,
Is that because you heard Jack Higgins say how boring Adelaide was, so you just decided to stay in Sydney, or what?
yeah, he's put him under fire there. I don't know if the AFL will be too happy with that, but yeah, he's pretty. Looks a rare unit, the old Higo, but yeah, he's still playing Call of Duty, I think.
Yeah, which is gold. You love him for saying what he thinks, but when the AFL's put in, this is what, third year at Gather Round, they've built a
Yeah.
new stadium out of the Barossa, and he's just thrown the whole of Adelaide under the bus. But anyway, you obviously weren't on Monday's episode, mate. You pulled up off the training track the other week with a bit of a sore heel, and then gone in for a scan, and things have escalated from there.
Yeah, it's probably from Perth. The first time I ever felt it was on that Monday, and just thought it was a bruised heel. And yeah, I sort of just did some running during the week, and it was still a little bit sore. And on that bye week, and then trained on the Saturday, was still like it wasn't sort of hampering me at all. I was still training fully and got through fully training, and just thought it was just a bruised heel, and still a little bit sore on Monday. It was no worse. And then so we thought we'd get a scan in the arvo, and we got the scans back, and headed into the physio's office thinking I'd just take it easy this week and might just no train and play. But yeah, come back with a stress fracture in the heel, and bit of a big surprise, bit of a shock to the system when you think you're just going to be probably a quiet week into out for 6 to 8 weeks. It's yeah, I was pretty shattered at the time, but that's footy. You gotta feel. I suppose felt sorry for myself maybe for a few hours, and then I sort of kicked myself in the gear and said, "There's worse things in the world, and you got to move on." You've got a good job, and I think you can sort of look at Millsy. He's had a rough trot recently, and so there's just a lot of other better things you can think of in perspective, mate. So got out of that little hole after the first couple of hours, and then moved on and straight into the rehab. So I was down in Melbourne on the weekend, sort of seeing some family and stuff like that. Got around the boys, and that was good. The boys got a good win, and yeah, come back to Sydney and full steam ahead in the rehab now. It's feeling pretty good. I'm out of the boot, which is
Shit,
positive
that's good.
signs early. It's feeling great. It's stress fracture, sort of a tough one. They feel good, but you just got to be careful because they
Yeah,
do
okay.
feel good and they're actually not fully healed. So you got to take some time. But if the boys keep winning, with the few outs we've got, we might be peaking later in the year. So
Yeah,
big game against your mob on Friday night, mate, which would be good.
our
You
B
boys got
side,
a
I
few,
think.
yeah, a bit like us. Nah, but yeah, it'll be a good game, I think.
Yeah, I agree.
My good mate Darcy Cameron's playing his 100th. I wish I was playing against him, but good luck to the big boy, and he's going well.
Yeah, fair enough. So you don't know when you've done the stress fracture, or is it just built up over time? Can you recall where you ever went, oh, geez, this doesn't feel right, but I'll just keep going and then worry about it later?
No, the first time I ever felt it was just a Monday after
That's
Perth.
crazy.
Usually stress fractures build up over like the 2 or 3 week thing. First time I ever felt it, I don't know. They're still unsure if it was the exact moment, but on the scans it looked like it's stress and then a little crack. Can be a change of diet, but wasn't a change of diet for me. Can be sort of compensating because my right ankle's still a little bit dodgy, so
Yep.
over time the compensating on the left, some footwear stuff, but Nike's pretty good to me, so no issues there. But yeah, I've had some orthotic change, things like that. It was pretty unlucky. They were very surprised. They
Yeah.
didn't think that would come back at all. So yeah, it is what it is now. I moved on, and I think I'm in week 2. So looking forward, mate, and hopefully back out there in about 6 weeks or so.
Yeah, well, thank Christ you weren't too proud and it hasn't carried further into the season. At least if you can try and knock it on the head now and be primed to get the boys up and firing. I
Yeah,
mean,
Pat Cummins actually had the same injury, and he sort of pushed through, and unfortunately he went crack down the middle and missed a fair chunk of cricket. I think it was back in the day, but the same sort of surgeon, ankle specialist, foot specialist, looked at Pat Cummins, and he actually remembered it, which is quite funny.
Yeah, that is rather funny. Oh well, mate. Speedy recovery, and yeah, as long as the boys don't get you and Juzzy making too many decisions up in that box. What after you did the little Instagram skit for the club when you just snuck down
Oh,
into the canteen? Can you elaborate what you bought at the food store at Etihad Stadium last Saturday night?
well, they got me an absolute good one. I didn't see them at all, and
Oh, so you were just generally strolled down there in your hood, just trying to
yeah,
just go
well,
and get something to eat.
I hadn't had dinner yet, and I just thought I'd chuck a casual clothes hoodie on, went up like out there, and then they've jumped the fence behind me, and I'm not seeing them put the hood on because
Oh,
obviously
that's
you're in
great.
you can a fair few photos all footy people, so I put the hood on, and then I looked to the right, and they're filming me. I was like, you bastards! But no, it was funny. They didn't put in what I got. That was the good
You
part.
could
I
see
got
the sushi in your
chicken,
hand.
got sushi, chicken and chips, party mix, natural confectionery, Coke Zero. I had the works, mate.
My question is once you saw your media team following you, did you change your order? Were you going down there to just get a couple of drumsticks and a maxi bon, or were you going there to actually get dinner?
No, I didn't change it up. I could have went real dirty. I might have got another couple of packets of lollies for me and crust up in the box. I'd hate to know the amount of lollies me and Juz ate in that box because nearly ran out of Allen's.
Wow, love that, mate. Well, let's get on to what the captain's run is all about, and that's about the weekend's racing, mate. Randwick, day 2 of the championships. You've strategically got a stress fracture in your heel, so you can potentially lob on Saturday, but rail 3 meters the entire circuit. Currently a soft 5. How do you see Randwick playing on the weekend?
Yeah, it's just 3 meters out. See, last week they were coming off the fence, so it's actually might be probably the fresher grass, that sort of 1 to 3 meter. But
Yep.
I think it'll play pretty fair. Historically, it does play fair 3 meter rail, but obviously you got to look back to back weeks. It's different to previous years because it's heavy to usually heavy there. Going from a good track to good track, I think it will play fair. Probably from lanes, I think maybe early on they might try to stick to the rail and see how it is because that might be the fresher grass, and then maybe from 3+ post that. But yeah, I think it's a good. Randwick's always pretty fair, and yeah, I think we'll get that on the day. And but you just don't know, you just got to adjust and see. But last week we sort of predicted how it would play offense a little bit and wanted to be 4+. So we'll go with around 3+ the majority of the day. Saturday.
Love it, mate. And then have you got any memorable Queen Elizabeth moments that you can think of off the top of your head in recent years?
Oh, so obviously the one that sticks out is the Pride of Jenny one. Is that?
Yep. Mine's definitely the Adabe versus Very Elegant
Oh yeah,
Clash.
that was
That was
good.
all time, and I reckon that year it might have been. I reckon it was almost a heavy in the Randwick
Yeah, it
into a good day on Queen Elizabeth Day, and people didn't know if Adabe was going to handle the good ground, and gave Very Elegant a little bit of a touching up, and then
Aussie Tom and his riding style really stands up on it, doesn't he?
100%. Yeah, Aussie Tom. That's right, mate. Well, let's get ripped into Randwick, and then we will touch on the Betfair Value Vault at the end of the podcast. I found one in Adelaide for us. No Dicko, obviously, this week. He is driving, and shout out to him. And geez, I hope they're going all right. He's driving the family, mate, from his joint in Frankston all the way up to Albury. I think they're staying tonight at a family friend's place for a couple of nights, and then he's making the trek into Sydney to go and spend a couple of weeks with his family. But yeah, geez, it'd be a madhouse in the car right now, wouldn't it?
Yes, how many times do you reckon they've said, "Are we there yet?"
Yeah.
You know the old saying, "Are we there yet, Dad?"
Nah, it'll be Dad. I feel sick will be the one that gets said more, I reckon. Poor old Das. Hopefully he's coping with his travel sickness. But let's dive into the races, mate. The first race you want to preview, we're looking into race 2 at Randwick, which is the South Pacific Classic. Just bringing up the market here, we have at the top of the market, no strings attached, up from Victoria. The Busted and Young Horse, $4.80. Madrina, I think that's how you say it, at $5. Margewood, $5.50. Budget Major, $6. Alabama State, $12, and then long to the rest. How are you seeing this 1,400 metre quality listed race play out?
Yeah, Marjoud will lead them up pretty easy. May get away with it, and he's a definite winning chance. Panara was back, not suited last start at a on-pace meeting. Randwick Kenzo comes here, middle draw. Zach Lloyd can land forward. And that's going to be one of my plays around the $14 mark. Just think the way it hit the line last start and now lands closer. and gets buried to Lloyd against the pattern and just lands in a very nice spot. So that's going to be one of my plays. Number 7, Kanara, at around the $14 mark. And the other one is No Strings Attached.
Yep.
Shin Sticks, come from Packy, the Future Stars win. Yes, this Ico says the Bermuda Triangle, but it's actually a really good race, that Future Stars series final. There's actually been 2 winners out of that race. One's a listed race in Morfettville, Gala Queen. Another 2 seconds. I think it might have been Cranbourne, but still some good runs out of that. And Matt's midfield, and I just think, it was a really, really nice win at Pakenham, and similar tracks. Pakenham and Randwick with that longer straight, 400 metre or so. So I think can land midfield, shin on, and get the job done for us. But also another little play on Kanara. But main bet, No Strings Attached.
Love it, mate. Yeah, I think that Pakenham Future Stars series, I think trainers are definitely targeting that race. The Hayes boys obviously had Marble Arch, which has gone on to do bigger and better things as well. That Astral Flame that comes from that race as well, I reckon that is one to Black Book. I know we're off on a little bit of a tangent, but when it ran the other day, there's been some horses come out of it. One ran on Wednesday and ran really well. So if you're looking for a little Black Booker that's a little bit rare and a bit wide, Black Book, that Astral Flame, the EJ horse, I think it's going well. But perhaps is having his main bet on No Strings Attached, but definitely wants to have something on number 7, Kanara. Then we look into, mate, the Percy Sykes Stakes over 1200, which is race 4, the 2-year-old Group 2 for the fillies over 1200. We've got Tempted, top of the market, 310. Inkaruna, second elect, 480. Within the Law, Bjorn absolutely flying at $5. We've got Memo at 950, and then Longer the Rest. Are you siding with one of the 2 favourites at the top of the market?
Yeah, I'm going to be against Tempted, 5th up, wide draw. Yes, it looks to be a bit of speed in there, and did it probably 2 back. Get that what that race was. 2 back where it come from the back of the field. Huge win against Mahuna, the Riesling Stakes.
Yep.
Probably get a similar setup here, but it's just like 5th up, 2-year-old, grand final. Like it's gone to the Blue Diamond, gone to the Golden Slipper. I'm just happy to be against it. The price and the wide draw. It's going to have to produce another big figure and big run to win again from there. I just think in Karuna, if you watch last start, they actually ran against each other. Obviously 2 back for Tempted in the Riesling. He got shuffled back, had to go back and around Tempted, and was home very well. Now gets buried to Zara, wide to inside draw. Had a little tick over, was very, very nice tick over. And I just think it's going to map very nicely. Ticks a lot of boxes. And just has a bit of upside compared to Tempted, although Tempted's obviously got a lot of upside as a 2-year-old. I'm saying this in the prep, how much more does Tempted have to go?
Yeah.
Not saying Tempted can't win, but I just, at the price, $4.80 v $3.10 if you swap runs, in Karuna nearly probably gets there against Tempted. So I'm happy to be with number 5 in Karuna. Maps very nicely. Zara on, and I think that's a good play. $4.80, mate.
I think Sam on the radio this morning, I heard talking to Gareth, is reasonably keen as well with you. Do you give, I think we were on last start, do you give any hope to Dreamside? I know the barriers, obviously barrier 11 could be a bit sticky, but does that horse look to have a little bit of upside?
Look, I think last start was just a perfect run for it, perfect setup for it.
Okay.
Was blessed. Gets part of Lloyd, and just gets a negative golden switch, goes inside to out. It's going to be make it tough from there. But the speed will be on, so I'll have a chance to come home. But I'd much prefer to be on in Corona.
Yep. Fair enough. We've got the Queen of the Turf Stakes. Before we get into the Queen Elizabeth, which we'll just take a quick look at, it's a 1,600 metre race, 3-year-olds and up for the Group 1, the fillies and mares. We've got Fangirl electing to scratch from the Queen Elizabeth to come here over the 1,600 at $1.95 currently. We've got Steffi at $5, a Tissue $7.50 off what was a not sure run around Flemington, the track that I liked last start. And then you've got Lazura next best at $9. Fangirl or bust? Yeah,
look, Fangirl's flying. Could even be in career best form. Career best runs the last couple of runs.
Yeah.
Just massive. Obviously ran into Via Sistina, 2 back. Gringotts was back and wide at Rose Hill when you had to be rails in run, held up wide, 3 or 4 lanes wide at the corner and just savaged the line.
Yep.
Tick over in between, very quiet. Waller style, quiet. Gets J-Mac. Barrier 6. I think J-Mac can be, it's a really good barrier for had a few sticky draws like Rose Hill. Hasn't won at Rose Hill and drew 9. Now draws 6 at Randwick. Is just going to be in the perfect position. Midfield,
Yep.
J-Mac won't be anything worse than that. You just got to trust him to land in the right spot. The danger is Steffi Magnetica. It was just had the perfect run in the Donny. Just peeled in just blessed. Yes, it can win, but that would be my second pick. There's not much else. I think Lazura was held up last start. Now draws a wide draw, has had soft runs in transit. Grinzinger Bell won really well last start. We were on it at Moonee Valley.
That's right.
We'll definitely go forward and put the pace in the race. Could get away with it. I don't think that's out of the equation, but yeah, I'm happy to be Fangirl. And yeah, I just think she'll be too classy for these ones.
Yep, I don't think there's been much come out of. Charisse ran pretty well. That ran behind Grinzinger Bell. Quintessa and Bond Mistress ran okay last start out of that Grinzinger Bell race, but there hasn't been much form from that. But I mentioned it, mate. What do we do with the tissue? Do you just forget about it? I mean, the run, it was probably not suited last start. Back and one off the rail in the Australian Cup. It goes 2,000 metres back to 1,600 metres. It ran in an all-star mile. We know the horse has got a lot of talent, but what do you think he gets the right setup here to run well?
Look, I think the perfect setup for her was last week, and the 2,000 metres Flemington didn't get the job done.
Yeah,
it looked the winner probably halfway down the straight. It sort of looked like it peaked on the run. Do you reckon?
Yeah, I mean they did go reasonably hard, but
it did look like it was. Yeah, I thought if she was gonna win, it was last start. Loves Flemington, loves the 2,000, third up. Comes back here to 1,600 metres. Just has won at 16 starts, 4 wins. Definitely win. It's just going to be back and buried. John going to have to weave some magic, and Fangirl might be already off and gone. I'm happy to be against the tissue. Just a map. Definitely can win. Yeah, I've got about $10, $7.50. So
yeah, okay, yep, fair enough. So that is race 9. You're looking to play Fangirl, the favourite. So your to recap your plays, mate, race 2, no strings attached, and a bet on Canara. So that's horse number 5 and horse number 7. We duck over to race 4. You're keen to be with the second elect in the market in Karuna, and then bringing us home race 9. You're looking at Fangirl, and we'll obviously have the rest of the plays to you with Eyes on Ponies on either Friday night or probably most likely Saturday morning. Mate, let's just have a look in. I know you're not keen to play, but into the Queen Elizabeth Stakes. How do you think this race maps? Do we think we see Deny Knowledge actually come out of the gate and lead the race?
Yeah, I think Deny Knowledge and Full Count Felicia will go hard forward as well. They're sort of the true speed horses. Full Count Felicia actually went slow last start, and it usually just goes a good clip. So I reckon Deny Knowledge will cross and go out on its own. Full Count Felicia will just be on its tail. Lindemann will be thereabouts. Light Infantry Man might be a little bit off. You know, those sort of the 2,000 metre races where there's a couple of speed horses really putting the speed into it. And I reckon the horses that are going to map beautifully, Faulkner Park, Tom Kitt is going to get a very cushy map. Via Sistina draws barrier 1, J-Mac. You'd think is probably going to be in that second pack. Probably just cough into that second pack maybe. This is what I'm predicting. It's obviously they might not go as fast, but with Deny Knowledge and things like that, I think we'll definitely get a run. I just think the $1.80 is pretty short. I've got it on top. If I was betting off prices and things like that, I could actually have a bet on Dubai Honor.
Yeah,
2,000 meters, 2,400 meters back to 2,000. It's 2 runs in Sydney, Rose Hill and Randwick are over 2,000 metres. It's a little bit different setup, but if I had $50 at the pub, I'd probably do the Quinella. If I had $50 at the pub just for fun, or $25 at the pub, $25 Quinella, $25 Dubai Honor. Yeah,
fair enough. I do think that the market surely got them a little bit the wrong way around, a little bit too far apart. I reckon. I'm not saying that Via shouldn't be clear favourite. The horse is a freak, but I think $6 for Dubai Honor. I think that currently is a little bit too big.
I think the thing that's sort of making Via that price is that Cox Plate run.
Yeah.
Like it's obviously there, can get there, and then obviously it went to what was after that?
That's
2,000 metres at Flemington.
yes. The
And
champion stakes, I think.
yeah, and it still ran a really good number as well. So hasn't got back to that. He's fourth up here with a tick over. You'd think he'd get close to that Flemington run. Yeah, it'd be very hard to beat, but yeah, I can't chime in at $1.80.
Yeah, fair enough. When they had the track club on Tuesday, J-Mac jump off and did it do
Yeah.
four laps of the circuit around Randwick to see if we can get the same setup for Via going into a Cox Plate. But yeah, I think it's going to be a fascinating race. What do they do from barrier 12 with Dubai Honour? But I mean, we've seen that horse do it on speed, off speed. It's a bit of a freak. And is it 3 Group 1s in Australia now that it's won?
Yeah,
Going for 4 in a row from 4 starts.
Yeah.
It's a freakish horse.
Yeah, there's obviously a couple of imports. Rish and Parr.
Mm-hmm.
Second in a Group 1 in America, the Dalma, if I'm getting that right, over 2,400. Comes in off 111 days. You just don't know with those sort of horses how they're going to come over, but that's obviously good form. That's another one that's sort of around the mark that you sort of have to respect. I think Light Infantryman going really well. Pretty well suited last start. Good win, but can it do it again? I just think the two are Via and Dubai Honour, and it'll be a great race.
Yeah, totally agreed, mate. Totally agreed. Rightio, perhaps before we wrap the show, and obviously Dicko's Eyes on Pony slide will have Bendigo's plays for you once he sits down and does a little bit more of the form. But we look to the Betfair Value Vault before we wrap today's show up. Before I get into my selection, which is in Morfettville Race 7, perhaps we look back last weekend. Rhinoceros, Dicko's backed it in the last. It paid $33.30 on the best tote. And we backed it right at the death as well. If you didn't take BSP, you've cost yourself a whopping 50.2% extra on the top tote plus starting price. It was $50 Betfair starting price. If you're a $2 each way punter, you don't have to be a $1,000 punter. If you're a $2 each way punter, you've cost yourself the best part of $33 from not taking Rhinoceros just for the win on your $2 bet alone on Betfair at the starting price, mate. It's just a great product for horses outside of the market, any horse in general, as is. They've got a lot of fantastic education stuff on the Betfair hub as well. But yeah, if you're not betting Betfair late, you are genuinely doing yourself on a disservice, especially for those horses outside of the market. Perhaps I don't know if you've had a look at much of her in Morfettville, but race 7.
You've got one for us out at the gather round. You're going with the racing gather round.
Yeah, the racing gather round. That's exactly right. Well, I think we've got a few over there, don't we? Mars sent one across, so there's one from Victoria. Yeah. We've got a few of the South Australian trainers. Henry Dwyer is back with Asfoora, mate, in the race, which is very interesting. I think he's planning to take it back to Ascot. So how wound up will it be here? The horse that I want to put in the Betfair Value Vault this week, mate, is horse number 8. Climbing Star, Lockie Neindorf, Stokes. There looks to be a fair bit of speed in this race. You've got horses like Press Down, Asfoora, Sursway, all wanting to go forward. Horses like Aviatrix from the low draw, I don't think will want to be too far back. So I can see this horse settling maybe worse than midfield, maybe back. So barrier 10 isn't too much of an issue for me. We've got first up last prep in the Matrice Stakes, I think it's called. It absolutely blew them away with 54.5 kilos from barrier 13. That was over 1,200 granted. We're first up over 1,100 this time in, but horse was second to Benedetta in the race last year. Look, there is a lot of quality in this race with Asfoora coming back and obviously doing what it did overseas, but first up, this horse has had 5 starts for 2 wins and a second, and then at the track, 4 starts, 2 wins, a second and a third, and obviously over the distance, it's had the 1 start, which was in this race last year, second up. I think you're getting a great price at $8.50. I'd be waiting late. You'll probably get double figures on Betfair. It'll definitely start better than the best tote, mate, and I think a great way to play the Betfair Value Vault this week is Climbing Star, which is race 7, number 8 at Morfettville.
Love it, brother. Just don't forget, listeners, the last time we tipped one at Morfettville, it lobbed.
It lobbed. And it was crunched too. So let's maybe not. It wasn't in the Betfair Value Vault, but yes, you're right, mate. We've got to pray here. I think if you do like Asfoora, I do think I am a little bit surprised that it is not favoured in the market currently. I do admit that the run of Aviatrix last start was eye-catching and did run well, but we are talking about a horse that has travelled overseas, so you are wondering if it has come back. But yeah, over
Good
1100, I
form,
think,
isn't
as
it?
for us, yeah, it's great form, and it's done it before, and it's done it in big races as well as Fura. So if you do like Asfura, I definitely couldn't talk you out of a bet there. But for the Betfair value vault, it close enough to $10, and I think you'll get $10 or better on the day, just due to the barrier. Is Climbing Star, mate. But does that just about do us for episode 30 of the Captain's Run?
Does, mate.
Dicko will be back next week. Hopefully, he's on a 2-week holiday with his family and doing a few things for work as well while he's travelling around the country. But we'll get him back on. Enjoy your day on Saturday, mate. Go well to the Swannies on Friday night. What's your plans on Friday night for watching it? Were you and the Crust be together, or is he flying over?
Crust is flying. He's got a bit of stuff on and some ASA stuff. So I
Oh,
think he's actually flying with Qatar, believe it or not, from Adelaide to Melbourne and then to Sydney to do some filming and stuff for Qatar Airways in the Q Suite. So Crust is living it up,
that's unbelievable
doing
from
some
him.
ASA stuff. So full credit to Crust. He'll be over there at Adelaide Oval. I don't know, might be in the box again. We'll have to see. But I think Errol's going over, so a few
Yep.
boys going over there. But I thought I'd stay put this week and get the foot right and push on with rehab.
Yeah, fair enough. And maybe sneak on down to Randwick on Saturday.
There we go.
Allegedly. All right, mate. Well, enjoy your week. We might be back this Monday with an episode. If not, we'll definitely be back to you with episode 31 of the Captain's Run next Thursday. Paps, go well and speak to you soon.
See you, mate.
Imagine what you could be buying instead. For free and confidential support, call 1-800-858-858 or visit gamblinghelponline.org.au.